probate investing misconceptions. We're going to go through the list. There are things that people just don't understand about probate real estate investing. And the fact that they don't understand is actually kind of good for people like me who know my way, around a probate deal. But for the people who just don't understand, they're missing out on all kinds of opportunity. So let's blow some of these misconceptions out of the water. Here we go. Misconception number one, there is too much competition going after probate deals. This is so very wrong. I can see how people would think that, because maybe they do understand that probate deals can be very lucrative, they can be very profitable, and maybe that's why they assume that everybody is going after them. And if everybody's going after them, then it's not worth, them pursuing themselves. The reality of the situation is that very few people actually know how to effectively go after these probate deals. They don't know how to talk to the seller. They don't understand the probate process. They don't know how to market to these guys. And it's because of those misconceptions where it makes people like me look like a rock star, and then people go about it the wrong way. They talk to these sellers in a salesy, kind of pushy, slick kind of fashion, and it just turns those sellers straight off to the possibility of selling their house to them. No, there is not too much competition. In fact, there is the least amount of competition of any other niche that I am involved in. Probate deals is where it's at. I mean, very little competition. So don't let that misconception steer you in the wrong direction. All right, misconception number two is that probate deals are too complicated. And I don't really know even where this comes from. Actually, yeah, I do probably know where it comes from. It's probably that there are often multiple people involved. It's basically kind of like there's multiple sellers involved. When you're buying an absentee owner house or a house from a bank or anything like that, there's basically one seller. With a probate deal, there can be, I don't guess there's really any limit to the number of people who could be required to sign the contract. In my experience, I've had as many as 7, signers required to all be on the same page and in agreement in order for the contract to be signed and valid by each of those 7 people. That's probably what it is. And I can see how people would think that that's more complicated, but the thing is, in my experience, even when there's multiple signers, typically there is a great deal of motivation for those signers to all be on the same page, because, I mean, this house is a lot of times just sitting there costing those signers money in one way or another. You got to have the house upkeeped, and you're paying taxes on it, and if it's not being lived in, then it's just deteriorating. All kinds of things. You know the reasons. So the fact that, or the misconception that these deals are complicated because of that, no, they're not. And also the probate process, as I will explain to you in my course, the Probate Blueprint, it's not that complicated. And once you have a grasp on the process, you can kind of walk these probate sellers through the process, because a lot of times this is the first time that they've been through the process, and you coming to them being the knowledgeable expert on the subject, they really can appreciate that. So don't let the misconception of these houses or these deals being too complicated cause you to miss out. Misconception number 3, probate deals are too risky. They're not. They're just not. Again, going back to number 2 misconception, there are multiple signers. There can be maybe a few more moving pieces as far as the probate process and multiple signers go, but they're not any more risky. People are, I guess maybe it's just that it's in the probate process, you know what I mean? It's this legal thing, it's this government thing, maybe. Maybe that's what makes people think it's too risky, but no. It's absolutely not. The thing about these misconceptions is, as aggravating as it is to hear my students being held back by these misconceptions, it's good for me and my students who have been through my courses, who better understand that these misconceptions aren't anything to hold them back, because it's great. The misconceptions are what cuts down on the competition and makes these deals so great. You know what I mean? So don't think that they're any more risky than any other real estate deal. Now, if you're in real estate you know, you have to accept the fact that there is some small degree of risk anytime you're dealing with closings and contracts and, you know, property trading hands one way or another, whether it be a house or a bass boat or, I don't know, just anything that you're selling. There is some amount of risk. These real estate deals aren't any different from any other transaction like that, so don't let this whole probate is more risky than anything else misconception get in your way, okay? Just don't. All right, the final misconception is that probate deals do not represent enough opportunity, or there's not enough volume of them to justify going after them. And while this is partially true, you know, you compare it to you know, foreclosures or absentee owners or tax sales or really anything else like that, it is a small niche. But for somebody who knows how to go after these deals effectively, how to talk to these sellers, how to follow up, you know, and also how to send follow-up campaigns, that's where the magic is in these deals. You will get deals if you mail, you know, 100 or 200 probate leads. You will, but you'll get more leads or more closings from that same 100 or 200 just from having an effective follow-up process, both with your direct mail marketing and follow-up with your, you know, warm leads, you know, the people you've made an acquaintance with over the phone. So yeah, there's plenty of opportunity there. Now, I can't in good conscience say that you should just go after probate deals. You know what I mean? You need to be more diversified than that. Could you absolutely be laser focused on probate and do just fine? Absolutely. Absolutely you can. You might have to kind of expand your market a little bit depending on, you know, what your town is like, what your market is like, just basically what the volume of probate leads are in your area. You may have to expand until you kind of find you know, that balance between enough leads and enough closings in order to meet your needs. That's true. But no. Again, going back to the point of, you know, these misconceptions is what really makes the opportunity even better for people like me, or people who understand the probate process. It's great. Don't let these misconceptions talk you out of going after these deals, because it's these misconceptions that make it that much better of an opportunity for the probate investors. All right, so those are 5 misconceptions that keep people on the fences and keep them from pursuing probate deals. Now, I hope you don't let those misconceptions get in your way, because probate represents an incredible opportunity in your market and in my market and anywhere else in the country. So to learn more about probate real estate investing, I hope you'll try out my new probate real estate investing course, the Probate Blueprint. Check it out. You'll be glad you did.